Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, we're going to be looking at the best time to start Amazon FBA and my 3 top tips, and let's call them secrets, for beginners starting their FBA journey. Let's get straight into it right now. Alright guys, so thank you for joining me on this video. If you are a new subscriber, thank you so much for joining. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that big red button, turn those notifications on, leave any comments and smash that like button because I love it. I love it when you do that sort of stuff. I really do. But today there's really 2 things that we're going to look at. The first thing is we're just going to talk about when's the perfect time to start Amazon FBA and start your e-commerce journey. But then the other thing, the real part of the video, is I'm going to talk about 3 of my top tips for starting out as a beginner when you're trying to find products and when you're trying to start up your FBA business. So it's going to be really helpful for you guys that are just starting or have not quite started yet, or that have started and can't really find the product. Now, the first thing we want to talk about is when's the best time to start. Now, over the last couple of weeks, so it was I think the 16th of February up until the end of February, beginning of March, it's been Chinese New Year. So basically, a lot of the factories will shut down, or all of the factories will shut down. Most of China will pretty much shut down, and you can't negotiate with suppliers, you can't get your shipments sorted, you can't have any deliveries, all that sort of stuff. So those last 2 weeks were hard to negotiate, hard to get into contact with your suppliers. However, now, like, my phone has started to be blowing up from my messages from suppliers on Alibaba who I started communicating with before Chinese New Year. They've all come back to work. So now really is the best time to start getting on, finding products to source from Alibaba, getting in contact with them, doing your negotiations, and starting to get your samples ordered and your products into Amazon. So really now is the best time. However, there's a couple of things to remember. First of all, there will be a lot of factories that need more staff. So some of the people might have left over Chinese New Year, so need to train people. They might have extra lead times on their manufacturing process. So it's just something to be aware of, and have a bit of courtesy with them when you speak to them, just so you're aware of that might be putting them back in terms of their timeline. But do get in contact with them. Start it right now, because the sooner you do it, the quicker you can find a product, the quicker you can get it into Amazon, the quicker you can start selling and scaling, and then hopefully then release another Amazon product later on in the future once you've made some profits and you can reinvest into the company. What you've got to remember, guys, is that if you want to be selling for Christmas this year, you want to be able to do that because it's the best time to be an Amazon seller because you get the most amount of sales. Then you want to be getting your products in ASAP so you can get them ranked, you can get lots of reviews on them so that you can take advantage for those sales as and when they come in Q4 this year. Make sure you do it. Start now, guys, rather than wait. Start now. Right, so let's get on to the main portion of this video, and we're going to be talking about my 3 top tips to getting started in Amazon FBA as a beginner. All right, so the first thing you want to be doing, okay, is you want to start from a goal-orientated position. So what the hell does that mean, right? So a goal-orientated position. Don't go on to doing your product research and look for any product. Like, I just want to find any product that I can sell because it will make me money. That's unfortunately not the best way to look at it. What you need to do is work backwards from how much investment you have, how much money you actually have to spend on your stock, all of your marketing costs, and any costs that will be associated with setting up on Amazon. So let's say you have £2,000 to spend, or $1,500, it doesn't really matter what it is, whatever it is, just write it down, okay? You then want to take off your fixed costs, the things that you won't be able to change. So these might be, for example, your barcode cost, your logo costs, any sample costs, the cost of Amazon Seller Central, the things that just will not change if you get a product that is £10 or it is £5. It doesn't change the amount that those are going to be. So you need to take off those costs. Any things like Jungle Scout or keyword research, take those costs off, and you'll be left with the amount of money that you have for your product and your marketing expenses. Those are real things that you'll be left over with. From that, you can then work out what sort of products you can look for. So for example, if you only have like £1,000 to spend, and you want to buy up to 500 units, you know that you can spend up to £2 per unit landed in the UK or whatever country you are in. So what a landed cost is the amount of money and the amount of cost that product has associated to it to get it to Amazon. So that's the cost of the product, that is the shipping, the insurance, the freight, whatever it may be. Every single penny that you have to spend to get that product into Amazon, that is called the landed cost. Okay, so you can know you can spend up to £2 per unit landed. However, that doesn't account for any extra marketing costs. So if you want to be able to give away some units, you want to, give them to your friends or whatever, that's going to cost you some money on the Amazon backend. Or you might have to PayPal some of your friends and family some money to be able to do so. So you're going to want to set aside maybe £100 to do that, depending on the cost of your product. So you then work out with £900 left over, and you can then look at products, so maybe selling between £1 and £1.50, meaning you're going to have some money left over. So that's what I mean by go for a goal-orientated position. Work out what your goal is first. So I need to be able to start up an Amazon business, FBA business with £1,000 or £1,500 or £2,000 or £5,000, whatever it may be. Work back from there, and you can work out your sales criteria. So, okay, I need to find a product that sells 300 units a month or 500 units a month. I make a £3 profit margin on a product that costs me £2, or whatever it may be, depending on your criteria, okay? Because this is important. A lot of people will be looking for these crazy good products that make them £10 profit a unit and sell 700 and 800 and 1,000 units a month, but they can only afford 200 units. So that means you're going to sell out super quick. You're then going to not be able to afford to do a reorder for 1,000 units because you haven't been able to reclaim the profit quick enough, or you might not have enough investment. So go from a goal-oriented position. Don't overestimate, don't underestimate. Just do what you need to do to get those products into Amazon to start selling, and so that you can maintain the sales velocity going forward. All right, the second thing is profit over pleasure. And what I mean by this is I have a lot of people reach out to me and say, I found this wicked product idea. I think it's going to be really good. Now, I can see it being really popular in the future. Unfortunately, you don't know if it's going to be popular in the future. Don't base your decisions, your buying decisions, off of something that potentially might happen. What you need to be doing is using the numbers and the figures that we have available to us to make an informed business decision. So what that means is that you use tools like Jungle Scout, you use the 999 cart tracking method, and you use Google Trends to find out the actual demand right now for a product. And if it has good demand now and it's not seasonal, then you know it's going to probably have good demand, and if not increasing demand as we go throughout 2018. So use figures and facts, use profit margins. Don't estimate your profit margin. Actually work out what your costs are, like your exact costs, how much money you're going to be able to spend on marketing and PPC, and if you want to do any other kind of Facebook advertising and stuff like that. Any extra costs like business expenses, work out your profit margin per unit or profit margin for your whole shipment, and make a decision based off of that, not off of you think it's going to be a good product, you think it's going to be popular, Don't use estimates, use actual facts and figures when you're making buying decisions when it comes to Amazon. All right, so the third and final thing is have aggressive patience. And you might be thinking, those two words don't really match together very well. Patience, yes, be aware that you might not find a product within 1 day, within 1 hour, within half an hour. That's not really how this works. But you need to have aggressive patience. So you know that you have to put the research in, you have to put the time in and be consistent with your research. Do it aggressively, so do it 30 minutes or an hour every single day until you find a product. But don't just have ultimate patience where you're like, oh, I don't really mind if I find a product or not. I don't really mind if I get a good quote. I don't really mind if I don't negotiate. You want to have aggressive patience, and you want it really bad, but you are willing to wait for the right product so that you can actually continue and make money on it. Don't just go for a product, like I said, that you think is going to be good or has subpar sales. Wait for that one that does have good sales, and don't wait for that perfect product, okay? A lot of people reach out to me and they say, I can't find the perfect product. And ultimately, you're never going to find the perfect product because it doesn't exist. There is no perfect product that exists out there, because if it is, it would have been captured by other people while it was still a good product and a potential product. And they'll be selling it, they'll be having the reviews, and they'll be the sellers that make a lot of money on it. So look for good products. Make sure that as I said earlier, you go on profits over pleasure. Base it on numbers, facts and figures, not feelings and thoughts, like thoughts and feelings. Have aggressive patience, right? Aggressive patience. So you're willing to wait, not willing to wait too long, but you will wait if it needs to happen, okay? Because this is a big thing. If it takes you 4 weeks to find a product, it takes you 4 weeks to find a product, and that product can make you even, let's lowball it, £500 profit for the next year, okay? But it took you 4 weeks to find it. Was it worth the 4 weeks of work, okay? And not even, maybe half an hour a day. Was it worth the time? Of course it's worth the time, because you're making £500 profit passively for the next year. Now that's a really low ball. You can definitely make £500 profit. What if that then becomes £1,000 or £2,000 or £3,000 profit off of one product that you spent 4 weeks looking for? Or even if you spent 2 months looking for it, is it worth it? For me personally, yes, it's worth waiting to find that good product. But what it's not worth doing is waiting to find the perfect product and never actually doing it, or never being able to pull the trigger on a product because you're waiting for the perfect product. That's just not going to happen. All right, guys, those are the 3 things. So make sure, remember, you think about working from a goal-oriented position, having profit over pleasure, and having aggressive patience. And those are my 3 top tips for beginners starting the FBA journey. If you have any questions, then I would like you to leave them down in the comments. I will answer every single comment. You can email me at info@johnnybradley.com. If you like this video, I want you to smash that thumbs up button, give it some love. I do like it when you do that sort of stuff, guys. And if you do want to get involved in Amazon FBA, you want a little shortcut, I can, of course, teach you how. First link in the description. As always, guys, make sure you are subscribed with those notifications turned on, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.